Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Printable Autism Workbook. This is something that I created for myself originally because I wanted something to, like a journal type thing. I'm obsessed with journals. This is actually one of my special interests. I'm like journals, planners, workbooks, checklists, paper in general, and just all of the stationery. It's one of my favorite special interests. And so I started an Etsy shop where I sell printable things like this, not all related to autism. In fact, this is my first autism related product, but most of my other stuff is all about holistic wellness and creating a healthy lifestyle. But anyway, this was where I put this product because I already had the Etsy shop, and I thought I made this Printable Autism Workbook for myself, and then I actually shared one of the pages in a Facebook group to somebody that was struggling with something, and I said, here is something that might help you. And she said, wow, this is super cool. And I'm like, oh, you think other people would want this? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, oh, well, I sell stuff like this. So I made this available in my Etsy shop, and so here it is. And right now it's on sale. There's a 10% off sale until the end of almost Christmas, I think, but then it's regularly only $8. So it's a very inexpensive. All of my things are pretty inexpensive because they're just paper, but they do pack a lot of information in them. So I'm going to show you the inside of this so you can see all of the pages. So here's the first page. The first two pages here are instructions on how to use the workbook. And also, this is designed for someone who has already been diagnosed, but it's fine for somebody that self-diagnoses. It's just not designed to be used as a diagnostic tool. So don't think that you're going to get answers as to whether or not you have autism. It's pretty much just for you to process. And journaling is a big part of that process. So here's the first page. Here's the second page. Basically, they're just questions to help you dig deep and just, process. Processing is so important. And here are the autism traits. So I've got the list of traits, and then you're going to put a check mark in one of these boxes, or two or three, whatever ones apply to you. So whether or not you had it in childhood, as a teenager, and as an adult. And so the reason why I wanted to separate them was because I have noticed that as an adult, especially in a middle-aged adult, I've noticed a lot of my traits getting worse, and some of them are appearing for the first time. And also, when I was a child, I had some that I don't have now. So I think it's just neat to look, once you get this all filled out, to see which traits, happened at what times of your life you had them most. And there's 3 pages of these, so I think there's like 80 of them total. And then here's a special interest page. This is something that I just think it's so fun to categorize things that I like collections and things about myself. And so I just think it's cool to write stuff like that down. I mean, it's not super helpful like when it comes to like helping your life, but it's fun, right? I don't know about you, but I'm just obsessed with journals, planners, and all this stuff. So I love doing this stuff. That's why I make them. So here's the friendship one. So there's a page here for people to find ways to make new friends, because struggling with friendships is a common thing with autism. And here's a page for you to categorize your friends, which some people might be like, that's kind of weird, but I don't know. I like to categorize things, and I like to express myself when it comes to how I feel about these things. So you can write down what you love about the friendship and what you find unfulfilling about the friendship, because I think it's important to take a deep look at, an objective look at your friendships. And, a lot of people with autism, including myself, don't sometimes put themselves first, and they think that if somebody is a friend that they're, you got to do everything you can to keep them. But as I get older, I'm kind of realizing that, you know, your happiness counts too. It's not just having friends, it's you have to have the right ones. So this page will help you kind of go through that. And then there's the sensory sensitivity pages. So there's a couple: visual, auditory, touch, smell, taste, and then you can write some other ones here because everybody's probably got other ones that I didn't think of. Here's an anxiety triggers. So here's where you check off all the things that trigger your anxiety. And then there's also a page of similar things for depression. So there's so many things that can cause depression and anxiety in autistic people. Here is your feel-good list. So this is where you're going to go to this list anytime you need help. Like if you're having a meltdown, a shutdown, a panic attack, if life just becomes too much, this is the page that you're going to go to, and you can even write more. You know, you can always print off more paper and just write more down if this isn't enough space. So you got that. And then here is masking behaviors. So this will help you to identify some ways that you might mask. And here's a section for others. There's probably millions, or maybe not millions, but, you know, like hundreds of masking behaviors, but I just kind of wrote down the most common ones based on the books that I've read and some other information that I've been learning about. And so here's a page for masking behaviors to kind of work through them. So you're going to write down the behavior here, and then you're going to write down why you want to unmask or stop doing that behavior. And then in this column you would write ways that you can unmask. So that hopefully will be helpful. Here is a page for your ideal life. So the reason why I made these pages, there's a couple of them here, because I think that a big part of learning how to live with autism is to know what things would make you feel safe and what things would make you happy, what conditions you need. So like your living situation, your job or your career, friendships, romantic relationships, daily life routine and schedule, and financial, those are all the biggest areas of life. And so I think it's helpful to go through them. And, you know, for one example would be daily life and routine. Like here you would write down, this is what I need in my ideal life. I need to have this type of routine. And, you know, as we all know with autistic people, that's a really big deal. And speaking of daily routine, I actually sell a bunch of daily routine planners and journals in my shop. So if you're obsessed with daily routines like I am, then check out my shop for some more of those types of things, because that's what I love. Here's some autism resources. So I went and gathered all of my favorite books, websites, YouTube channels, podcasts, and online communities, and I put them all here. And these are all real links, so you can really click on all those. And now this is a PDF, so you'd have to click on these from that. Like, don't print this page. This is the page that you would get to from your computer or your phone or your iPad, whatever you use. So I hope this was something that you might be able to use. And so here's how you can find it. My shop is called Holistic Lifestyle 101 up here on Etsy. So go to Etsy, search for that. You can even just go to the link in my description of this video. So scroll down and I'll have the link right there, so you can just go right to it. Let me try to think if there's anything else that I wanted to mention about this. I'm going to quick go through these pictures to see if there's anything else. Maybe you want to see these too, because they kind of give like an overview of what each of these pages are for. And like I said, this is a PDF download. And another way you can use this, if you have a, what are those things called? They're GoodNotes, and they're annotation apps. They're used on when you buy like a digital planner, and so you can use them on that too. If you buy this, you can also use it on that. You would just write on it with your digital pen, whatever they're, I don't have one, but I know that people do that. So that's another way that you can use this. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.